between two stocks, let's say covariance. They say cov xy. It means what? Covariance between two stocks equals correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient between the stock into product of the standard deviation of stock X and standard deviation of stock Y. So covariance between two stock equals correlation coefficient into product of the standard deviation. You should remember this formula, no other way. I tell my students, if you go to the exam hall without knowing the formula, it is like crossing the Indian border, an Indian soldier crossing the Indian border without bullets. The enemy will shoot you within seconds. The institute will shoot you. If you want to pass the exam, you have to study perfectly with seriousness. Though I say this, a portion of the students, they don't care. It is like that. Okay. But there are some, let's say, systematic students. They exactly do what they say. Okay. You can create a short note, a small book, write all the formula with your own handwriting. The coefficient of correlation of Satellite Corporation, our old example, and Yormouth stock is 0.6. Meaning they move in the same direction 60% of the time. I will slightly disagree with this statement. Actually, what happens? If X goes up, Satellite goes up by 10%, Yormouth will go up by only 6%. That is the real meaning. That is what the correlation coefficient says. But anyway, you don't need to just look at the explanation there. Additionally, Satellite Corporation stock has a standard deviation of 63.37%. Yormouth stock has a standard deviation of 88.31. The covariance of a portfolio consisting entirely of these two stocks. What is our formula? Covariance equals correlation coefficient 0.6. Remember, look at the calculation, 63.37 into 88.31. Look at, everything is in decimals. 0.6 into 0.6337 into 0.8831. You get covariance. This you need, later you will study beta. That time you will say covariance divided by variance of the market. These are all connected. Now, risk and diversification. Specific risk, we already studied. Diversifiable risk, unsystematic risk, residual risk or unique risk is what? Risk associated with a particular company or stock. Specific risk can be diversified. When you diversify, you are hedging the risk. There is a saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You should diversify. Remember our Ranjit case? If we planned only the banana plants, there is a huge risk. A small wind can make all the bananas on the floor. but teak tree will survive. So this is diversification. Same thing. It's a repetition of what we discussed the other day. Now, when you diversify, what they are saying, diversification effect decrease as the number of different security increases. You have 1 crore. How many stocks you will invest? 10, 15 or 30 or 50. What they are saying, the diversification effect will get diluted once you reach, let's say, 20 stocks. And beyond 40 stocks, diversification effect is zero. It is like you are mixing too many colors. Your diversification effect will reduce when you add more securities. What is market risk? Undiversifiable, systematic risk. The risk of stock market as a whole. Do one thing, you can read B. Equals, there is a way to calculate beta. Beta is a measure for systematic risk. Let me add one more board. Beta of a stock equals covariance between the stock and the market divided by variance of the market. This formula you write somewhere. What is beta? This is easy to remember. Covariance, they will ask you to calculate beta. How will you calculate? You should have the covariance divided by variance of the market, which is covariance. I am putting, repeat, covariance divided by standard deviation of the market square. Covariance is what? Covariance equals correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient between the stock and market into the product of the standard deviation. Product of standard deviation of the stock X and standard deviation of the market. You can cancel this. This is also formula. What is it? Correlation coefficient into standard deviation divided by standard deviation of the market. But for easy, this one I suggest this is the better way. And you should remember this also. There is no other way. They will not give you covariance sometimes. But we know that correlation coefficient we have. Beta of TCS equals coefficient of, covariance of TCS stock and the market, the index, Bombay Sensex, divided by variance of the Bombay Sensex or Nifty. You can expand that formula. Correlation between TCS and the market into product of standard deviation of TCS and standard deviation of market divided by standard deviation square of the market. Now in your text, they are not giving much importance to the formula, I would say. That is what I say. How do they calculate? They are explaining here. The beta of a security may be calculated by dividing the covariance of the return on the market and return on the security by the variance on the return on the market. This is the formula I am saying. Beta equals covariance between that stock and the market. You write down this formula somewhere in your textbook or in your the material what you have. Those who got the hard copy, somewhere you put an arrow and write here so that you remember for the exam. Now they will say beta of the portfolio. You know the beta of a stock. What is the beta of a particular stock? Sorry, particular portfolio. Portfolio beta, let's say portfolio beta equals same like return, weighted average equals weight into beta. If you have two stocks, for example, W1 into beta 1, you have two stocks like TCS and ICICI Bank. What is the portfolio beta? So you should know the proportion of TCS, weight into the weight of TCS into the portfolio beta of TCS plus W2 into beta 2. Beta of a portfolio is the weighted average of the beta of individual security. Same like return. Remember, return and portfolio beta, the calculation is similar. But for the portfolio's return, portfolio risk, it is different. There is something called correlation. There is a way to calculate the portfolio standard deviation. You don't need to worry about it. There is another formula, they will not ask you. Now the key issue is how to interpret this beta. Beta measure the sensitivity of the stock with respect to the sensitivity of the market. It measures the volatility of the stock. This is captured by beta. When I say the beta of TCS is 1.2, it means what? If the market, let's say Bombay Sensex moved up by 10%, in that case, TCS will go up by 12% market into this factor. Beta of 1 means what? It is perfectly correlated with the markets. If beta of 1 means what? If the market return increases by 20%, the stock also will increase by 20%. If the beta is less than 1, it means, let's say in this case, if the market return increases by 20%, market has gone up by 20%, but your security return is only 10%. It It means what? The security has a beta of 0.5. It is good actually, because what happens? Return is okay. When the market goes up, this may not go up. But what will happen? If the market drops by 20%, the market drops by 20%, your stock will drop by only 10%. Some stocks are high beta stocks. The market goes up by 10%, the stock can go up to 20%. It means the beta is 2. Now here I can plot in a graph. Let's say let me kill this board and bring another one. There are two variables. Market return. I can change this number. This is called the independent variable. This is stock return. For every 1% movement, what is the stock return? That is what beta. So effectively I can say beta is the slope of this equation. You don't need to remember much. This is a regression equation. If x-axis goes up by 5 centimeter, what will happen to the y-axis? The slope, rate of change of y with respect to x. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. X-axis item is always called independent variable. You can put any value. Y is called the dependent variable. Normally we say simple regression equation y equals a plus bx. Those who studied BCom, they know it. These are in their statistics. Simple regression equation. What is this b? If x equals 2, for every x, b will be what? The rate of change of y. If the b is 2, y will move twice, 2 times. For every 1 centimeter change, y will change by 2 centimeter. So b is called the slope. This is what it is. So here they are just simply saying this. What is it? Beta coefficient is the slope of the regression line for the return of an individual security, the dependent variable, and the overall market, the independent variable. Only one sentence. But what is the meaning? This is a graph. This is what they meant. Okay? Now, the next discussion is a particular stock's beta is influenced by debt to equity ratio in your balance sheet. If TCS got too much debt compared to Infosys, is beta of TCS can be different. Operating leverage. You got a cost structure, your fixed cost is high, like airline. One airline traveled from Kochi to Delhi. There is fixed costs. The fuel is fixed, the landing charges, everything. Maybe it may cost 5 lakh rupees. Your variable cost is very, very less. So it is an industry with a high break-even point. It's got an operating leverage. It depends. Some industries are having operating leverage. Characteristics of the industry. So everything is related to the stock. It can be influenced by it. Remember, none of the topics are meant to be by-hearted. That is why I explain all this practical example. But it should be supplemented by your reading. If you don't read the text, you will not get. But when you read the text, that is also not enough. So you have to remember what I discussed in the class with the examples. Then only your knowledge will be perfect. Otherwise, if you simply read what is standard deviation, standard deviation is a measure of variation. More standard deviation, more risk. Where is the flavor? It is like understanding the city map with the Google. It's totally different. The city of Kochi, the experience you get when you move along in the Kochi is different. You know how the Edapalli will look like if you are in Edapalli. You know where is Lulu Mall. This is subject matter. So if you have this, let the institute ask anything. Some students say, sir, the questions are totally different. I said, come on, there is nothing like out of syllabus questions. If you simply focus on, let's say, 2000 questions in the software and go to the exam, no, that's not the right way. But if you know the topic, let them ask anything. Remember, one of my student, probably you might have seen his testimony in one of our videos. He cleared his CMA before first year BCom exam. First semester, forget about first year. First semester exam before that. He was regular. He was our classroom student. That time we didn't have any online class. Not even a single class he missed for part 1 and part 2. Even when it was heavy raining, he was there at 7 o'clock in our center. One shot in 8 months. Can you imagine a plus 2 directly from plus 2? And in the same class, there was a person who did his MBA from London. He was having his own business. See, look at the situation. Graduation is over. He did the MBA finance from London. Do you know the thing? The MBA guy failed. Not because of that. He doesn't have brain or anything. He was not practicing. He was not regular. He was busy with his business. He was not committing 2 hours per day. But the other plus 2 student was so systematic. 2 weeks before the exam, everything is over. Software, everything done. Revisions. Have you done it? He said, it's done. I said, don't worry, just go. Go and write the exam. That boy is in Canada now. Imagine. The MBA student failed. This student passed. What is the difference? Hard work and the right effort. So you don't need to worry whether you are not good good in studies earlier. End of the day, how you study matters. Let me take another topic area, capital asset pricing model. The capital asset pricing model